With that being said, we're going to jump into my presentation for all of this. And I wanted to give a little bit of perspective on how recruiters work and what we search for, right? And like at the end of the day, how recruiters can use better practices, right? I am a recruiter, I train recruiters, but more importantly, how do job seekers use the knowledge of what recruiters do and maybe some of their tactics to get jobs, to get in front of hiring managers and maybe do a little bit better for themselves. So with that being said, guys, super interactive. I have like 5 slides and all of them are going to be up for like maybe 90 seconds total. I'm going to go live and I want to actually show everybody kind of how this searching works and how people are using the platforms, both as a job seeker and as a recruiter. Here's the deal, guys. I do this for a living every day. I'm not on here to play on LinkedIn. This is solely to help you as a job seeker or a recruiter pick up some best practices, ask some questions, bitch about how bad LinkedIn is as a company. All of these things are acceptable in the next however long we have, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Yeah, how do we interact with this remote platform? Very, very carefully. No, I actually have a video I can share. I think Liz Lemke could probably send it out if she would be so awesome. And I'm going to share my screen and get rocking and rolling. Guys, just put any of your comments or questions, if you can, in the general chat, not necessarily the Q&A. I'll be watching it the entire time. I have ADHD, so I can look at both at the same time. But like, you know, half as well. So guys, welcome first off to the L&D Cares Summit. This is going to be an awesome next two days, basically. I wanted to go over what I just mentioned. So first, Boolean best practices for recruiters. For job seekers, it may be a little bit more of like, what's Boolean? I thought those were chicken and beef cubes that I put in my soup. That's Boolean, very different. Also, I want to go over best practices on LinkedIn Recruiter for recruiters to kind of make better use of the platform. We'll be real quick about that. And then for job seekers, how do you use LinkedIn, the search techniques to help you get a job? And how do you optimize your profile maybe to be found by recruiters? Drew, if the womp womp was for my dad joke, you're going to be super disappointed by the rest of this presentation. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. Keep them coming. Don't worry. So really quick, guys, I'm going to take a quick pause. I want everybody to go to the chat and tell me, are you a recruiter? Are you a job seeker? Or are you just here because you're a Batman fan? Seeker. Batman fan, thank you. Job seeker, thank you. Job seeker, seeker. Batman fan, Heinekeo, Batman fan, Nasik. Okay, cool. So you ready for this? There's no recruiters in here, so I'm literally skipping that entire. Oh, Nafar, dude, we talk offline. No offense. You're in this for the fun. Everybody else is a seeker. We're gonna jump right into all of this for only seekers. So if you're a recruiter, sorry, maybe get some perspective here or not. So what is Boolean? Boolean is a language. Sure, it's a language for all intents and purposes, created by a guy by the name of George Boole, B-O-O-L-E, right? That's where you get Boolean. It's not Boolean. It's not Boolean. It's Boolean, like George Boolean. And the idea of this was to create a way for humans at a very basic level to speak to computers in a way that computers may understand. That sounds very complicated. It's not. What you're looking at on screen actually is exactly what the main parts of Boolean look like. So where can I use this? Almost anywhere on the internet. Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, kind of, Instagram, kind of, Yelp, Bing, Fandango, doesn't matter. If there's a search bar, most of the time the search is built off of the Google search engine, which is comprised of Boolean logic. So let's get into this a little bit. I'm sure you guys can read. I don't have to go through all of this with you, but I'm gonna anyway because it's on page. Ask Jeeves, believe it or not, is still a site that is functional and does not use Boolean operators. I don't know why I know that. So, and statements. If I'm looking for two things, ready? This is going to sound crazy to you, and I say I want to find grasshopper and purple. That means that both of those words have to be present in what I'm looking for, right? If somebody wrote on their profile or their webpage, right, like we love eating grasshoppers, don't judge it, that won't show up. They have to use both of those words. Or means either or both. So if I said grasshopper or purple, anybody who has one of those words will show up, and not. If I say not purple, not grasshopper, those words cannot appear on a profile or they won't show up. Why is this important? Because this is what recruiters use to search through LinkedIn for candidates. And so understanding how we may use an and statement or a not statement could determine whether your profile comes up in a search or not. See, that's for you, Drew. So looking at the two symbols here, parentheses and quotes. I think Vanessa called them like upside down commas or something, or inverted commas, which is awesome. So using the parentheses will group statements together, and using quotes will search for exact phrases. Are they super important for you as job seekers? No. Is it important to know what they do so that you can alter your profile to be as quickly and easily found? Yes. So here's what I want to show you, some examples of how recruiters actually search through LinkedIn. So if you haven't seen it as a job seeker, here's what LinkedIn Recruiter looks like. It's gross, like the rest of everything LinkedIn does. And so what most recruiters do is they're going to come here and they're going to go right to job titles. I'm going to make this a little bigger for everybody. They're going to go right to job titles. And here's what they do, guys. Are you ready? So let's say if you're a software engineer, and I'm using software engineers solely because it's the easiest. You know what? I'll do learning and development professionals. Let's do that. So if I were to do this search, right, and I'm going to use the exact things, the inverted commas, and I go learning and development, right? This is a title I want. I literally want to see everybody who has the title learning and development. Here's the problem with this title, right? What about if it's maybe a little bit different and someone's title is learning, training, and development, right? Or what if it's developmental learning, right? So are you aware of how you're using your title to attract people, right, to your profile? Recruiters are going to look specifically for this information. And so what I encourage you, first encouragement, think about not how you would look for somebody, how a recruiter who doesn't know crap about what you do, because most don't, would look for you, right? So people who in the software space, right, their title is software development engineer. Recruiters are dumb. We just type in software engineer. We don't do software development engineer. They're not going to show up, right? L&D professional versus L&D specialist versus director of L&D. These are all titles that may or may not appear as recruiters are running searches, right? The other is that LinkedIn thinks they're super smart. So I'm going to do learning and development, and they're going to put what they think are the top results up top. And as you see, there's 140,000 results here. That'll lower down as people put in like keywords and locations. But here's the deal. Do you know what the order is based on? They're going to say a complex AI algorithm. And I'm going to say, no, it's not. AI doesn't exist yet. It's machine learning and it's pattern matching. Pattern matching. For example, how many times do you say learning and development on your profile? Right? How many times are you saying it? How many different ways are you saying it? And you can say, oh, that's crappy. You shouldn't have to do that. Yeah, you're totally right. It is crappy. It's why LinkedIn is the absolute worst, and Workday, I guess, are the two worst. But it's really important when you're in your profile, right? The number one result to come back on this. So let's look. So has learning and development in her headline, has learning and development as one of the first 10 words in her summary, right? Learning and development as her title, L&D here in her summary. I'm assuming there'll be other places in here. Learning again, or lending, sorry, not learning. And then let's come all the way down to skills. And down at skills, do you have things like training and development? My eyes are not on point right now. Emotional intelligence also lines up with an algorithm, right? So how often are you naming what you do on your profile? And how close to the top is it? Super, super important, right? The other thing to think about is where you're putting stuff on your profile. So this is going to be an interesting point, and you're going to see something really fun right now. Do you know a lot of recruiters use this section right here? And it sounds pretty logical that they would do this. They're going to come down and look for, I don't even use it here, skills. And they're going to plug in, oh, instructional design as a skill. So the skills section of your profile, I'm going to show you. This is my profile. The skills section of your profile is all the way down here. And this is where people can endorse you for different skills. So if you did not put, in this example, instructional design as a skill down here, you're not showing up. Even if you've done it, even if you say in other parts of your profile that you've done instructional design, if it is not in this section, it won't show up. Here's the really fun part. You add your own skills. There's no validation. And you can say, well, wouldn't it be cheating if I put that? Maybe, but LinkedIn's so crappy, like game the system a little bit, show up and stuff. And to show people how I do this, guys, check this out. Ready? One of my skills is adding skills to my LinkedIn profile, which, by the way, 3 people have endorsed me for. And to make it a little worse, I literally wrote another skill is I'm adding skills to my profile. This doesn't mean I really do this thing, but I do. I'm doing it right now. And I got endorsed by one person for doing that thing. So guys, I want you to understand this. You need to update this with any and everything that you think a recruiter would look for and have a healthy understanding and appreciation that it's complete bullshit. And just be totally comfortable with that. Like I'm totally comfortable swearing on stage. You should be that comfortable with the skills section. So that's number 2. Number 3, here's a really big one. Guys, yes, please connect. Please endorse me for ping pong. I haven't played in a little while, but like I used to crush it. I'm not going to lie to you. Quick question. How do you narrow down the best wording and most important keywords since you are limited in the number of skills that can be added? I actually wasn't aware of a crazy limit for skills. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 20, 32. I have 44 skills listed. So like, oh yeah, 50. Thanks, Dan. See, so glad you're here. Hang on, let me just like, thanks, Dan! Exclamation point. Great. So guys, here's the deal. You shouldn't need 50 skills on your profile, period, right? If you're writing, for the record, Microsoft Office, Docs, and Excel, and Outlook, stop it. It's 2020. You don't need to write that anymore. You're on LinkedIn. We're assuming that you use email and normal word processing tools. So how would I do it? Well, if I were looking for an L&D job, right? So I would do, I don't know, this is a recruiter search, so just don't mind me. Or I don't know, in URL job, and let's do entitle, I don't know, learning and development, or Untitled Learning and Development, and I would run this search and look for what job descriptions come up. You can also do this in LinkedIn and just look for jobs. So here's the deal. I have a whole bunch of jobs right here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open them, and I'm just going to see what their keywords are on here that they're looking for. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's read more. And I'm going to scroll down. Requirements. Ready for this? So dumb that that's what they wrote as their first thing. Doesn't matter. Camtasia, maybe. Brainshark. Smart Sheets. Why would someone put that here? Website content editing software. So you may actually just write like content editing, maybe, right? Or content editing software. And just go through. I know it seems shisty, but your goal in doing this is to get on a phone call with someone and create some open line of communication. So let's see here. I'm reading all the questions. Sorry. When in doubt, go with job titles and stuff you see a lot of times. Yeah, Luca, that's right. I've noticed many jobs ask for MS Office, which is puzzling to your point. It's 2020. Are those skills the recruiter is seeking? No. I've literally never seen a recruiter search for Microsoft Office or Docs or Excel or anything. Never. If you want to double check and make sure that you come up, maybe list it under one of your jobs itself, right? So maybe under here, maybe list, right, like technologies used and just list them out if you want to, which you can do. You just scroll to the bottom here and you can just do something like this. Technologies used, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Outlook. See, recruiters, it's 2020. Save, right? And I'll leave that up for a week and see if anybody notices. It'll be fun. So you can add them right there. Super, super easy. Just make sure that what you're doing is relevant for what you're looking for, right? So number one, is your title accurate for what a recruiter will search for? 2, do you have the keywords listed throughout things like your headline and your summary that talk about what you want to do next? 3, are your skills updated to list all of the skills that you could possibly need for a recruiter to search for, right? So that's number 3 on general recruiter nonsense that we do. Number 4, so this is going to be a bit tricky, right? There's a gray line here, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to show you something, and you can infer whatever moral ground you want to take from it. What if I know, for example, I want someone out of Facebook? Our company loves it. Our company loves people who come out of Facebook or Google. Watch this, guys. Companies, current, Facebook, Google. What you're going to notice here, still there. It's marked as to present. Still there, marked as to present. To present. If you do not, excuse me, not you, if a person randomly marked that they were not there anymore on LinkedIn, they will not show up in this search. So sometimes it's okay if we forget to update a section of our LinkedIn. No one will hold it against you. We're humans. We all make mistakes. Okay, fantastic. So that's my section on the recruiter portion of what we do and why most of us are shitty at our job. Next, I'm going to talk about how you, as a recruiter, can use this. Yeah, I know, Tim. I'm waiting for somebody to be like, recruiters aren't all crappy. I'm like, yeah, I know. There's 10% of us who aren't. Yay. And if you don't believe me, by the way, go to Google and type recruiters space R-A-R-E space and see what auto-populates. It's not lovely people who help us get jobs. Promise you. So you're a job seeker and you find a job that you want, right? So we'll do L&D specialist. and we'll do, I guess Chicago is pretty good, right? So I see this and I'm like, oh, this job looks amazing. I want to apply for this. Stop it. Don't apply. First, what I want to do is try to find who does this person report to in the company, right? So we've talked about your profile already. Now we're going into straight job hunting. How do you do this? Aspen Dental Management. Okay, so first thing I want to do, I want to go to search and I want to find people. I wish I could have opened that in a different screen, but that's where we're at. You'll see here it says current companies. Aspen Dental Management. Great. So now here's a list of 650 people that in some way I'm connected to who work here, right? What I may then do very first, who are my connections? Who am I actually directly connected to? Oh my gosh, Jenna Tadros. Look at that. I have no idea who that is. Awesome. See why we're connected to each other, right? Cool. If your first connections, it means that at some point you either accepted their invite or they accepted yours. It also means that on their profile, you should have access to their email address. What? This does two things. One, you can contact Jenna. Here's the deal. Oh, she's actually in TA, so she may actually be a decent person to reach out to. Let's say she's not. You want to find who the hiring manager is. Let's hold on to this for a second. Ready? First name dot last name at Aspen Dental. Let's just remember that for a moment. And then let's go back to our search. Oh my God, LinkedIn. Yeah, we got it. Thank you. Cool. So now we're back here at people who work at Aspen Dental, everybody, not just your connections. And now I want to go to all filters. And down here, you'll see it says title. So here's where we can do something with what we just learned and our awesome Boolean or statement. I want to find people who either have the title Learning and Development or L&D. And then I want to search. There's 8 people who match this skill set. Vanessa, I despise LinkedIn. I can't even make a joke about liking LinkedIn. I use their platform. It's a great database, but as a company, they're a bunch of blood-sucking. Not for right now. So, Vice President of Learning and Development. Let's open that up. Director of Learning and Development Scheduling Center. Maybe not. Learning Development Professional. I'm looking for more of a manager. That's machine. Manager of Learning and Development. Okay, so let's open these up. Is there a chance that, it's in Chicago and the Manager of Learning and Development? The job we were interested in was in Chicago and Learning and Development. Dan, you're just poking the bear, man. So this is probably the person we want to reach out to. This is probably that person's boss, right? So let's review where we've stood so far. First thing we did, we looked for a job in L&D Cares. And don't worry, Noel, I'm going to go back and this will answer your question. We want to find something for Learning and Development Specialist. We found Aspen Dental. Okay, so boom, we found our job. And now I want to open it up. Take a look. Does it say who posted the job? It doesn't. Sometimes they do, right? And it sits in Chicago. So first thing I want to do is I want to see, hey, who do I know who works here? So you can click it and go to see all 5,400 whatever employees. Cool. So now I clicked and now I'm just looking at all the people who work here, right? Found the job. See if I can see the person who posted it. Then I click on the company and I want to see the employees and I want to see connections. Who am I first connected to? If they're first connections, I can now see the format of their email. Tanji Pettis is a personal friend, so I can do this. If they are first connections, when you are on their profile, you'll see it says contact info. Click that. Look at this. First name dot last name at aspadental.com. We can assume that she left out the N here, and it's actually aspendental.com. And if Vanessa Rath would maybe Facebook message Tangi and let her know that, that'd be pretty cool of Vanessa Rath to do that. So we now know the nomenclature for emails is first name dot last name at aspendental.com. Hey guys, let's guess what her email is. Ready? You think it's analhi.nunez at aspendental.com? It doesn't say it here, but like, yeah, that's probably her email. Okay? So what you want to do is find the person it would report to, find someone else higher up in the food chain, so maybe like that person's boss, and then find somebody in talent acquisition. So either sourcing, talent acquisition, or recruiting. Find a manager or director. And this is going to sound totally crazy, but I promise you it works. You're going to send an email to all three of them. Not separately, not 3 emails, 1 email to all 3 of them. So I am going to show you what it would look like. And this is going to freak a bunch of you out, but I promise you this is super effective. So we're going to go with tangi.pettis at aspendental.com. We're going to go with analhi.nunez at aspendental.com. And we're going to go with, I can't read that, it's under my webcam. Boop. Kimberly.Kavala at aspendental.com. And we're going to keep the subject fairly vague, right? Aspen Dental L&D question. Because if they read that, they're going to go, what's this about? Right? And ready for this? Hey, Tangi, Analhi, and Kimberly. I'm sorry for reaching out to all 3 of you, but I saw this L&D job and needed to get in touch. I am super excited, whatever, blah, 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 right? I'm really excited about the job. I need to figure out who it reported to. Sorry if I'm crossing wires here. Boom. And then ready? This L&D job, if you take the URL where the job was, which isn't this page, but you take that URL and you hyperlink it, they can see what job you're referring to. And then I would say, personal stuff about me, why I want this role, why I want to work at Aspen Dental specifically. Attached is my resume. Would love to set up a time to chat, right? Cool. And that's what you're going to send out. And then the next day, you're going to follow up with another email. So again, I want you to follow along. I know there's a lot of shit here, guys. Keep up with me. We're going to get through it. Yes, this is recorded. Yes, you'll be able to watch all this again. You're going to go to the same email that you sent the day before. So you're going to go to your sent folder and pull this email up and then reply to it. Okay? And then you're going to say the same thing. Hey, just wanted to follow up from my email yesterday, blah, 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 blah. I look forward to hearing back from you. I'll try back in a few days. Thanks. So they know you're going to follow up again. So here's the deal. When you are messaging a person who you could report to, that person's boss and the person who's responsible for getting that person into the company, someone's going to reply to you. Almost always, as long as your messaging isn't boilerplate garbage. So, quick review. Find job online. Can you see who posted job? No. Okay. Search that company and see if you have any first connections. If you do, find out the company email nomenclature. first initial last name at company or first name dot last name, whatever it is. Then you're going to find the person you'd report to, that person's boss, and a manager or director or VP in talent acquisition. You're going to write one email with all three of them on it, and you're going to open by apologizing that you had to email all three of them. You didn't know who to get in touch with, and you're so excited about this role. Then you're going to write a really personal, short email. Lauren, jumping the gun, and I love it. So Lauren asks, what if you have no first connections at the company? I'm going to get there in 2 seconds, actually. And yeah, same question. Good question. You're going to send this email to them, and then you're going to follow up 1 day later and let them know you'll follow up again. They'll get back to you one way or another. I promise. So I'm not going to keep this. So great question was asked. Hey, what in the world do we do to find these people, their email address if we don't have it? There are tons of options. I'm just going to type them right here. Loxo.co, email finder. It's free. You have to sign up for it. No credit card or any of that stuff, but it'll find emails. Kendo is an email finder. It's like, I think, $14 a month for 500 of them. SalesQL, another great one. Vanessa Rath. You can look up swordfishapp.com. Nymeria is, I think, like $24 or $29 a month. Worth it. Even just as a one-time, get everybody's email addresses. And here's the deal. If you get their personal email address, cool. Dude, Profit's dead in 3 months. That was mean. I'm sad about that. If you get their personal email address, awesome. Include it in the BCC field so the other people can't see it, but they will get it on their personal email and know that you're super serious. Okay? So those would be the ways I would get their email. The other thing you can do is literally just Google, like, Aspen dental email nomenclature. Boom. 78% first initial last name. That doesn't seem like enough. Oh, it's from Lucia. That's super unreliable. First dot last at aspendental.com. Okay, and just look through these, see what it says. If you want to get really technical, guys, reach out to me. I'll show you how to validate emails and stuff. It's not crazy complicated. I'll make a video and send it to you if it would help at all. So hopefully that answers your question. We're going to cover one last thing here before we go. And that I do not need to share my screen, so I'm not gonna. And somehow I went back. Okay, so this is super important. And I really, really, really want you to pay attention to this. So that's why I'm looking you in the eye right now and I'm telling you, listen to this story, take heed. You can ask questions, you can argue with me. I'm totally down to argue this point. You're gonna lose the argument ultimately, but I'm happy to go through the motions with you to suss anything out that you're thinking. Most people have an issue with what I'm about to say, and they don't necessarily believe that it's gonna help. So ready for this? Be yourself. Haters gonna hate. Okay? So guys, here's the deal. When you're writing your summary on LinkedIn, and when you're writing that email to the potential hiring managers, be you. Not the professional robotic version of you that you think, still exists from the 1980s stockbroker movies. Be you. Don't say shit in an email. That's a bad move. Trust me, it's a bad move. Don't do that, right? But outside of swearing, what you should think to do is communicate in the way that you naturally communicate. This is gonna be really hard, right? A lot of us are tempted to write, "Dear hiring manager." Stop it. That's dead. People don't do that anymore. Literally, they don't do it anymore, right? When I'm writing out thank you cards, when I'm writing out wedding cards, I would never write "dear," right? Super impersonal. Ready for this? Don't write "hello" either. Because if I walked up to, let's say, Dan, and I said, "Hello, Dan," Dan would assume that I'm either doing a Hannibal Lecter impression or I'm drunk. because that's not the way you approach someone unless their name is Clarice, in which case, super creepy, but maybe you can do it, right? Or both, yes, which would be better. A nice Chianti.